actually, I kind of want to talk about that because it's kind of funny.
Did you find your spoon eventually?
No.
Did you find
Where's
your
my
knife
spoon?
or the knife die?
I got the knife. The knife is set. I always know where the knife is, but where did my spoon go?
What about the fork?
I don't think I ever brought a fork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a spoon?
Oh, yeah, because the spoon was the one that was like, you brought the spoon and the knife, and then the spoon left the building.
Yeah. Well, it would have been actually very nice to use that spoon. But as I was unpacking just now, I didn't find it. So, did I lose my spoon?
I think you lost.
It's a bummer because
No.
it's like it's like a lightweight, long-handled spoon, which is
Is it
really
like one
good
of
for.
the special titanium ones that are like, you know?
I mean, it's titanium, but it's just long-handled, and it's very nice when you have like those dehydrated things because it can go into the pouch really easily.
Exactly what we're talking about.
So that's
What
a
are we
bummer.
drinking, boys?
And that's like $10, I think.
Yeah.
I need to buy another one. I'm drinking some Sapporo.
So I meant to get a beer, but I am now drinking instead, since my beer's not cold, Coke Zero and vodka with raspberry Coke Zero and raspberry vodka.
Wow.
And some Contois. Just like
I got a new
liquor.
one of my Christmas presents from Christmas was a cooler, like a really nice, cooler.
Yeah.
And like 45 quart, so fairly sizable, but it's the size I wanted and everything, and it's really nice. So this is the first trip that I did where I could use it, actually, because I hadn't used it yet, and it kept all my stuff nice and cold the entire time.
Kept your steak cold?
I still had ice and stuff in some of my iced stuff.
No, that's a good time.
At the end of like a 3-4 day trip, or 3 day technically.
Nice.
So probably could have gone another day or two of keeping things cold, and that's awesome. And I think it got up to like 80s or so in the car where it was. So,
Well,
Was it
pretty
80s
good.
Was it 80s outside when you were there?
no, but I would say probably like high 70s,
That's
low 80s
crazy.
inside the car.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said high 70s.
Just because it's like black and the sun and it keeps
Yeah.
hitting it.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
surprised
it
I
was
thought it'd be
probably
higher.
60s during the day.
Gorgeous.
And then,
Fantastic.
well, actually, okay, I want to talk about this because,
All right.
so welcome to Almost a Podcast. I haven't done an intro in a very long time.
You gotta get hyped up. You gotta get hyped up.
This is Sean, and we have Colton and Michael here with me.
That's me.
And I was going to bring up that I had just done got back from a trip to Canyonlands National Park. Really cool area. And one of the few parks on like the west side that I haven't been to yet. So really wanted to cross it off. West side of the U.S.
Right. Yes.
And I got there, right? So my plan was I was going to drive down there and get in, and I was probably going to get in about 10 o'clock, right? That was my plan.
10 p.m., right?
PM.
Yeah,
And
so it's nightfall.
yeah, nightfall, it was night, and I was pretty sure that this time of year, it's before peak season, so, it was getting down to like 30s or below 30s at night. So most people aren't going to want to go there. So I'm gonna, in my head, I'm like, roll up, get a campsite, no problem, fine.
Mm-hmm.
However, what ended up happening was, as I was driving down there, I stopped for dinner, and as opposed to going to McDonald's like I normally do, I'm on a road trip. I was like, let's stop at a small town and go to one of their places and have some food there.
like a little diner there.
Yeah, like a diner.
It's just something like I'm like that's a better story, better trip.
Yeah, you gotta have better experiences.
And boy, is
than
it a
that.
better story because I got
Definitely
there.
yeah.
And I'm like, I sit up at the bar, and I'm like, okay, I want to order the food. I ordered a Reuben, right? Which is probably the mistake that I made here.
Okay.
And,
On your quest
but
for
it
the
was on
best
menu.
Reuben.
I was not. Well, yeah, I'm always trying to find a good Reuben. And I didn't find one here.
No.
The first problem was it took them probably 45 minutes to get this thing to me. Like,
really?
They must have forgotten about it or something.
I hate when that happens.
I don't know what happened, but
that kills the mood so fast.
I'm like, I was trying to get up and go here. Like, in my head, like 20, 30 minutes. Not too bad. 45 minutes later,
Reuben.
Get the food.
It is Reuben.
And eat it, and it's not good, really. It's like meh.
Not even
the taste
average?
was there, but the consistency of the meat was not. A little too much fat and everything, and it was like too hard to bite through.
Okay.
I was just a bit of a disappointment, you know.
Yeah.
So then I left, and I got on the road, and then I drive into Canyonlands. By this time, it's probably 11 o'clock right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, not too bad. And again, I drive all the way into Canyonlands to the campsite I was going to go to. Drive through it. It's very small, and there's no spots.
Oh.
So I'm like, shoot. Now I got to drive back to go to another campsite. And Canyonlands is not very like it's a long park, like a long drive-in.
Yeah.
So I had to go all the way back, probably about 45 minutes to get to another campsite.
Dear God.
Because you can't go fast. It's all like winding roads, you know.
Yeah.
And 45 minutes. So I get there, get a campsite, put everything down. By the time I'm there and like in my tent, it's probably like just past 12 p.m.
Okay.
It's probably like 12:20 or something like that.
Okay.
It was a long day.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you and I went to Yosemite and we tried to find a spot. Except ours, at least it
We just
wasn't
spent the whole day in
nightfall.
traffic.
Yeah, it was the whole day in traffic and then had to leave. When you're at night though, that's kind of sucky.
Yeah.
What would you have? Oh, go
One
ahead,
thing
Mike.
you can always, I learned when I was doing my trip all the way out to Yosemite. I think I told you guys about this, but I did a trip back freshman year, under freshman year with some high school buddies.
I remember
recall
that.
this,
Yeah.
So what we learned is that you can actually camp in any national forest in the U.S.
Yes.
And so if there's a national forest, like for instance in Yosemite, we're like, there's a national forest like right adjacent to Yosemite. We're just going to camp there. It's like a 30-minute drive into the valley. So why not just camp there? So we just like pulled off to the side of the road, and it was like, yeah. So you just off-road a
There's
little
some
bit.
general rules you need to follow when camping in national forests, but not restricted really.
Is it like at your own discretion if there's like bears? It's like, hey, there are bears. Just
There's
do
bears
the right
everywhere.
things. Yeah.
There's bears at normal campsites.
There's a lot of BLM land around Canyonlands, Bureau of Land Management land.
Yeah.
And
Black Lives Matter is what I was like, I don't know why that went to that.
And so that was my backup plan. Is like, okay, I'm gonna drive in if there's nothing there, drive out and go to some land and just camp, which is what I ended up doing. I was an established campsite, had to pay and everything, but that's fine with me. But it was really cool because I rolled in and it was like really good weather for some reason. It was no wind, super clear, and it didn't feel that cold to me. It felt like it was probably like high 20s, but it didn't feel like that. And it was like almost a full moon. So I didn't use lights at all to set up my campsite. I just did it all by moonlight. So that was really cool.
That's pretty cool. Because I remember you sending pictures, and I was like, wow, it's like really bright out. And it must have been because of the full moon, right?
No, that was because I had the headlamp. Because you can't take a picture by moonlight, unfortunately. But it was good. It was a fun trip. I was excited to go out and do a trip,
explore
things.
Yeah, like is it one of the first times it's been consistently nice to do that? In that area, at least.
It wasn't raining, or snowing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And it's just on the peak of peak season, or just on the cusp of peak season. So I really wanted to go before it got really crowded there. That was my plan.
Is there, if that place was
and you cooked
full,
a steak.
And you cooked a steak, yeah. We got the
pan?
pictures.
I cooked a better
like a
steak than
person?
Colton could ever make.
No. That's incorrect.
It wasn't my best work, but it was still.
Well,
This man
so
thinks he
tell
can
the story. You only had a knife, right?
Okay, yeah. So generally, when I'm camping, I don't tend to take too many things. Like my parents have a full-on set of like cutlery set and everything, very nice. And I'm not really used to car camping as much because I usually do like backpacking. And in backpacking, you don't take many things. You take like one utensil that does everything and a knife. And for this trip, I basically did that. I took a spoon and a knife, and I meant to take a fork, but I forgot that. And then when it gets down to dinner, I was gonna cook. I bought a cast iron pan for this trip because I didn't have one yet, and I wanted to make that in I wanted to make my steak in that. So I ended up pulling everything out for dinner, and I couldn't find my spoon. So I just had this knife to cook everything with. But it ended up working out,
It
does everything.
It wasn't a fork that you're looking for. You're looking for the spoon.
Mm-hmm. Because I knew I didn't have a fork. I mean, I was pretty sure I didn't have a fork, but I knew I had a spoon because I ate lunch with that. I had noodles with a spoon.
So then you just...
I really should have just brought chopsticks. That would have been a great idea.
That'd be some pretty cool stuff right there. That'd be better
chopsticks
than
and a knife
almost.
are actually really, really workable for camping.
Yeah, that'd work really
you
well.
Hold it and use it to cut. Yeah.
Yep. That's like...
I figured I had to do this trip though to maintain my status as outdoors person because I keep saying I'm like an outdoorsy guy, but I just don't go outdoors. I haven't been outdoors recently.
Yeah.
This is normal though. Like in your 20s, like you're working a lot. It's just like,
Also, when it's colder, if you're somewhere where it snows, you just can't do it. I don't find the motivation when it's all overcast, and I don't like going out in the cold and camping. I know a lot of people probably disagree with that, but I just find it so hard to do that.
Yeah.
I
be
enjoy
okay with
winter
that.
camping, but you need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, I'm not prepared.
It was shockingly better. I got better sleep on the first night than I did in the second night, and it was colder the first night, and I was less prepared because I was dead tired and I just got into bed and just went to sleep. And the next night, I had the right long sleeve on. I had all of the things, but I had still good sleep, but less as good as the first night.
Yeah. Well, that first night, I'd be scared that I wouldn't find a camping site. Like, what would you have done if you didn't find that second spot? Is there just a national forest nearby?
I usually have like an ABC,
Oh, okay.
of where I'm going to go. So
Yeah.
I was pretty confident I would find spots, and there was probably like 20 or so open at the other site that I went to.
Okay, so you
in the
kinda
one
knew.
loop. So the second site had 83 spots total, and it split into like 2 or 3 loops. And I went to the tents only area, and there was probably like 20 sites open in that of probably 40 or so. So it was pretty open.
And these are just like just sites, right? There's nothing, or is there like plugs and stuff like that? Like a fancy...
Oh yeah, no. There's
it's just
plugs. That's not camping if there's
privilege
plugs.
I know, right?
What are you talking
There's
about?
places in like other areas, right? I've been camping, like true camping, right? Backpacking, right? But then you'll have other places like, oh, this is
if it's not camping, it's glamping, and that's
it
a
is.
hard
It
line.
was kind of a
Glamping?
glamping experience.
What's
Yeah.
the gl in that? What's the
Glamour camping.
Glamour
I think.
camping. I kind of like the sound of that, actually.
Yeah, it's like
I
someone who has an
personally find that-
RV who like takes the RV out and
An
goes camping
RV
that way.
or like you could
Like a
argue some
backup
forms
generator.
of off landing are glamping if you have like sometimes what my parents do is glamping because they'll take a charcuterie board out into the middle of nowhere.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's still camping.
You know?
Like they don't have like a power generator. They're just they
Not
just got
having a toilet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you have running water, it's glamping.
that's glamping
My
for
mind.
sure. I agree. I kind of like that though. You're like, I mean, that's just basically a cabin, or maybe a cabin with extra steps if you have running water.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, plenty of cabins I've been to that don't even have running water.
yeah.
Now, see,
don't know.
I want to take a little teardrop trailer, and
What's that?
take that.
I'm not sure what that is.
Teardrop trailer.
Yeah.
It's
Is it in the shape of a teardrop?
it's a trailer that's in the shape of a teardrop.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah. What
does that
How do you
mean?
describe
I
it?
feel like
Okay,
I've
so
s- I feel like I've seen one of
I'm gonna
these.
try and describe this without pictures. So It's a small trailer, usually no more than 10 feet, 10 to 15 feet in length, and it's generally curved from the front. So the front starts kind of vertically, and then it curves up, and then tapers down in the back.
Okay.
Semi-aerodynamic, and they're a class of trailer that is geared towards being small, and usually have like a pop-up door in the back that has like a kitchenette area, and then the inside is solely dedicated to being a bed.
All right, I'm doing a quick
So
Google
it's-
search.
Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it
I know
before.
exactly
You've seen
what
him
you're talking
before,
about.
100%. That's just the name for him. So
Yeah, it is. It's like a tiny little kitchenette, and then you got a bed inside.
yep.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I'd love to do that because that would open up where you can go camping a lot more and like the temperature range.
Yeah.
And you can store more stuff. And it's great for a small car to tow because it's a small little trailer. So
Yeah.
very nice.
That's very nice. Do you
It
have
also means you can just pull off the side of the road and go to
and-
sleep.
Yeah, that's nice.
A lot more comfortable than you would normally.
I mean, you can
I
do that
will
with
say-
a normal car too. You just
Yeah,
fold
it's
down the
not
seat
comfortable.
and then fall asleep.
Yeah.
Done that a couple
I've actually
times.
never done that.
I was gonna
Really?
say, Mike,
I don't think
You've
I've
never
ever
slept
done
in your car?
No, I've never needed to. I have a tent.
I've definitely slept in my car a couple times.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times, and then also a couple times like you're coming back from the bar and you're too drunk to, like,
Yeah.
you have to drive. And you're like, I can't drive right now, so it's like, all right,
That's never
roll down
happened
the
to me either.
seat. Like, there's a reason I have a sleeping bag in the back of my car, so I can just like
Mike
curl
gets
up
drunk
and just,
away
like-
from home way too
I
often.
remember one night I was a little worried because this is downtown East Lansing, like right outside MSU, and MSU police tend to be pretty no nonsense, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm really wasted. I cannot like drive anywhere right now. So I'm like, all right,
Well, good.
yeah, exactly. It's a good thing, right? And so I'm like, all
Yeah.
right,
Good to
pull up
realize
the sleeping
that.
bag, and then just like close up the door, and then just make sure like I'm in like the right spot of the parking lot where no one can see me, no one will ask any questions, and just curl up and slept for like 2 hours, 3 hours, until I was like, all right, I'm good to go.
See, I've always driven a car that is impossible to lay down in.
Yeah.
fair,
'Cause it's
yeah.
too
And
stout.
so if anything, I'd have to lean the seat back, but that's even hard to do in my car. So I tend to have just never done that. I just throw out a tent usually. But if you had like a teardrop trailer, it opens up your possibility. Like you could even sleep in the rest stops, on the side of the road.
Oh yeah. Total.
But would you
comfort.
want to though? I feel like that's
If I was
sketchier
on like a
than-
very long
Is a rest stop
trip,
sketchy?
yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's
there's-
fine.
Oh, plenty of them are.
I
The only
think
ones
they're
that aren't
mean,
sketchy
okay.
are the ones that are like you ever done like the turnpikes?
Not done the
Like
turnpike.
it's like Highway 80, Highway 90, and Highway 70. They all have
I've
like
done
these
them all.
really nice rest stops with like multiple different fast food options, like excellent bathrooms. They're like well maintained. Probably because the turnpikes themselves are tolled, but yeah, most
Yeah.
rest stops I feel like, especially the ones like the state mandated ones, are kind of sketchy. They're just like these holes in the side of the road, and you'll like see like two cars out there in the middle of the night. I'm like,
I've seen more that are better than more that are sketchy. I
I
think.
think you're just
Yeah.
in a different area of the country.
Dude, I've been
I feel
all
safe.
over this country.
I'd park at like a truck stop, one of those big truck stops, like a Pilot or
Yeah.
a Love's.
Oh yeah, because
That'd be
that's a
You
easy.
just
truck
gotta be
stop.
careful and not take a truck space because they'll get mad at you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
But
gotta
I
go
do
to the
that.
auto area.
There've been plenty of times where I've been like, man, I need to sleep, and then I do it. But I don't know. It's very uncomfortable. I don't know, like especially in the winter.
What,
'cause
sleeping in your car or?
I think
the
sleeping in your
state
car,
stop?
sleeping in
Yeah.
in your car in general, I feel like is very very uncomfortable. I don't know. It's hard for me to. It's like the one place I usually can clonk out anywhere, but my car is one. At least if I'm like at a stop, is one place where I'm not able to sleep very well.
See, I've trained myself that for so long to not fall asleep in a car that I think
You-
if I
you can-
did fall, like needed to pull over onto the road and sleep in my car, it wouldn't be a good night's rest.
Yeah.
You'd be like hyper aware.
Yeah, I did. It was actually this my second night of camping. It was pretty windy, and I kept my dreams that I was having. Earthquakes kept happening.
What?
Because it would like move the tent a little bit.
Oh, that's funny.
And so
You're like,
it would like I would like feel it, I guess, in my dreams, and then there'd just be earthquakes happening. I think I had like 3 or 4 separate dreams that were all like had an earthquake in them in some form or fashion.
God,
that's really
that's
funny.
terrifying.
And one of them, I was just like, is a normal thing happening. I was going about my day, and just it was like an earthquake happening.
It's like,
It
oh,
was
this
so
is
weird.
fine meme.
That's
This is fine.
It's very from California vibes right there. Like, oh, it's just another weekend, right? Another day of the week.
We don't get earthquakes that much, or maybe I just don't feel them anymore. Like it needs to be significant for actually to feel it.
Yeah.
A couple times I've been in my bed or like just been in my room when I lived in California, and something starts like I feel just like a tiny bit of shake, and I'm like, is that an earthquake, or am I just like off balance?
Dizzy. Yeah.
So
I have to look it up. Like,
I remember actually pretty vividly. Obviously, I'm from an area that doesn't have too many earthquakes, but I remember very vividly there was back in, I think it was early 2000s. There was an earthquake in like the Illinois or Mississippi area, and or not Mississippi, sorry, Missouri area, like there. And there's like a fault, and that created. It wasn't a huge one. It was like I think maybe a 5 or a 6. It wasn't crazy. But like, I remember feeling it. I was asleep, and I remember feeling the actual waves like going through my bed. Like my bed was like vibrating a little bit. I was like,
I hear of people
this is like really weird.
Yeah,
and,
I feel.
And then it turns out the next day it was that earthquake. Because I was like, I don't know what this is. It was like 4 a.m. I'm like, what is this?
Like, what the fuck? I hear of people being able to see like the ground move. And I've been in a couple earthquakes, but I've never been able to see that. Have you guys seen that?
you need to have like a really open look. I've only seen it in
Open
videos,
area.
but
Okay.
Oh, I kind of want to see this. This sounds really macabre, but I kind of want to see this now.
Yeah,
it's really fascinating. But you can't see it unless you're like in a pretty open area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With like
you
long
guys
sight
saw
lines.
speaking of earthquakes, did you see this thing from Japan recently?
Yeah, I saw that.
Huge one in Tokyo.
Yeah, some pretty cool like power outage footage there, where like just buildings just go off in this metropolis.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's that area probably has some of the most earthquakes.
Oh, absolutely.
And they can take it. Like that was a pretty big earthquake, and I mean 4 people died, which sucks, but for a huge city like Tokyo, for only 4 people to die, and then like public transportation to be back up and running within hours is like great.
I think after the last big earthquake they had there, they changed building codes, so they had to be like a lot better about resisting earthquakes.
Right.
Well, that's something we noticed too, right? Is like all of them are very short. Like you don't have a ton of extremely high buildings. A lot of them are like the same, like 3 to 4 stories above the ground. Some gets like to 10.
There's a lot of tall stuff in Tokyo, though.
Yeah,
but like if you go just outside, like or just outside
of
main
it,
drags, you'll see like a lot of like these shorter buildings.
Yeah, I mean, because there's tons of tall buildings in LA, and they get earthquakes too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of building, designing, construction, I think.
Cool.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Done.
No, I mean like it is really interesting. I remember, going by, I was walking with my dad a couple years back, and we're like going by houses, and he's like showing me kind of how some of like the earthquake, like they even like house up here, they'll have minor earthquake prevention systems in it. Not like anything major like they'd have at LA.
I mean, just building houses out of wood is pretty good prevention.
Safe? All right.
Over like concrete and stuff.
I know there's a lot of stuff in the Midwest, and especially in the East, it's just brick. Brick concrete, because there's no movement. And those types of materials can't take movement. Whereas wood actually flexes and sways, so that's why all the houses in California are built out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
At least the residential ones.
Yeah. Oh,
I do think though my purchase of the purple bed had prepared me better for camping, which I was hoping it would, because a purple bed is like firmer than most, I think.
Oh.
And so then when like I have this like nice air mattress for camping. It's super lightweight while also being good for like heat retention.
Is it like one of those the auto inflatable ones?
No, those usually foam and are very heavy. This is, you have to either blow into it, or I have a tiny little super lightweight pump that
cool.
it only weighs like 2 grams. No, 2 ounces. Sorry, not 2 grams. 2 ounces. And that blows air into it, and it's awesome. Highly recommend. And regardless, this being on the pad usually is not the most comfortable, but the last 2 nights were great because I was just used to like a more firmer like mattress at home. So
is that good? I mean, would you want a soft bed at home most of the time though, or do you just like firm beds in general for the purple bed?
I think it's an adjustment period. Like I'm happy with my bed, but it definitely was like a month or so of adjustment. And it's the same thing happened when I got the pillow too, because the pillow was way firmer than any other pillow I had before. But that took like a month or two to really get used to it. But I enjoy it a lot more after having gotten used to it.
Yeah,
I've always heard though that firm mattresses are actually really good for you. Like I had, it's in the East, right? It's like
they say sleeping on the floor is good for you, but
yeah, they do.
I think it's really only back sleepers that say that.
That's probably fair. I'm a stomach sleeper, so for me,
really?
I can do anything.
I'm a side sleeper.
I do back or belly. Side gets my. How do you guys? Okay, I need to ask this question, even though it's a bit of a tangent. How do side sleepers sleep, but then not lose like feeling in their arm? If I ever sleep on my side, I lose feeling in the arm.
Where's your arm? Can you show me where your arm is?
My arm. So for the viewers, I'll try to describe this, or the listeners. It's basically my side is on my arm. It's like I'm on.
Oh, so it's just like along your body?
It's along my body. So like if I do this,
probably why you're losing feeling.
If I do this, how am I supposed to get it out? If I'm supposed,
so you're sleeping like this. You're sleeping like just
like or like this. Like my elbows would be in front of me, but I'm still on my arm. So how do you not put your force on your arm?
So how I normally sleep, so if I'm usually here. So like my arm is just like straight out from me.
But you're still on your arm. Like you're on your shoulder.
Because the pillow's right here.
Yeah, so
I'm still on my shoulder. The shoulder is into the mattress, right?
Yeah, but my arm's still gonna go numb from that.
No, because
then you might have the wrong bed.
Might have the wrong bed. My bed's so soft though. I thought that would help.
You put the pillow where, Michael?
You put the pillow like in the crook, right? Like for me, if I'm sleeping on my front, usually I'll do, or if I'm doing like the front side where like I'm at like a 45.
You must not use a pillow then if you're a stomach sleeper.
Oh no, I use a pillow. You just put it. What you do is you put your arms up like you're. I don't know how to describe this pose, but like basically put your arms up like you're cheering, and then put the pillow in between your arms and your face, and you go, all right. And that's how you.
I don't see how that is comfortable at all, because then your neck is like at like a 45-degree angle up.
Well, I'm not sleeping upward. I'm I'm putting my neck to the one side or the other.
Yeah, and this is
so that seems like you develop pains in my neck at some point.
If you have a low profile pillow, that helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that.
Or, the ones that I hate, and actually it's the one I have now though, is more like one of the like the foam ones, the
Tempur-Pedic-ish. Yeah, memory foam.
I think they're good for back sleepers, but they're terrible for stomach sleepers.
I see these new crazy pillows that are like, curved or like square. I'm like,
the square one,
angled, and I'm like, maybe this would be good. But then I have a good I really like my sleep situation now, so I'm comfortable with how everything is, but. Occasionally, I'm like, man, I want to try this new pillow technology.
Honestly, me and Carly went from a soft bed to a firm bed at one point, and it was so much better. I mean, at least we both, I think, slept better. We don't like to admit it because we spent a lot of money on the softer bed, but we had this firmer bed for a while, and Carly says she has more back pain with the softer bed than with the firm bed. And like we both slept like way more. Like we like are more, we wake up less throughout the night.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is.
You wake up in the middle of the night?
I don't usually. Carly does, though, a decent amount. And she said she woke up a lot less in the middle of the night with the firm bed. And I wonder, because it's like, it's less comfortable in the moment, but then when you actually sleep, it's just you just
All right.
are done. You're knocked.
Are you now? Here's a quick question: Are you guys like? Do you guys sleep like a log? Like you never move at all, or are you like the type of people who like toss and turn?
I think I move a lot because I definitely kick my cat as I sleep, and she likes to sleep at my feet. She likes to sleep at my feet. No, I don't kick Carly. It's definitely the cat because like she sleeps at my feet, and then I don't know why she does it because I just literally sometimes I'll move and she'll just get whacked, and she'll be like, I don't know why she does this to herself.
I don't move I move like once or twice. You know, like I'll fall asleep in one position and then I'll on one side and then I'll wake up on the other, and then that's it. As far as I know, no one's like told me, but I don't think I thrash around. Like my sheets aren't everywhere. You know, it's usually pretty stable.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm the type of person who tends to. I'm kind of the same. I sometimes move a little bit, but especially if I'm on stomach sleeping, I'm literally boom, and I wake up same position. What the fuck just happened? And then like, those are the best nights.
Now I used to be a stomach sleeper. When I was a kid, I was. Yeah, I was a side stomach sleeper as a kid, and then now I just can't do it.
So only the side.
It's like my neck doesn't go that far. You know,
you can only do the side sleep. Interesting.
Yeah, a couple times I was a back sleeper, but like it took a lot of work to fall asleep on my back. Whereas at one point I was like, "You ever do things just to see if you can do it?"
Oh yeah,
like one time, like I'm not gonna turn over. I'm only gonna go to sleep on my back, and I just like sat there or like laid there until I fell asleep. And eventually I did, but it
took a while.
It took a while.
You want to know something that's really weird that I've tried to do that's similar to your thing, Sean? Since I'm a stomach sleeper-ish, I can only lay on the right side of my face. If I turn my head and I lay my head, so I'm laying on the left side of my face, I can't fall asleep.
That's really interesting.
That.
Isn't that so?
Well,
it's like the same kind of thing as not being able to like sleep on your side or your back or whatever. But like, I don't know. It's like I can feel my heartbeat when I sleep, when I put my head the other way, and I don't get it.
That's really strange. Yeah,
I have a similar thing because I have like a preferred sleeping side, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's routine.
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Like I'll start on my right side, right, my right shoulder's down, and that acts for the first like 10 minutes, you know, and then I'll turn over. And then I'm onto my left side, and then that's what the side I fall asleep on. Almost always.
Really? So you're a dual sleeper, dual side sleeper, not a single side sleeper.
Generally, but like it's just like a kind of like a routine, you know.
That is really interesting.
I feel that.
I don't know why this happens. Does anyone know?
Well, see, when I'm camping, like a couple nights ago, I was I alternate the entire night essentially.
Yeah.
Because I definitely wake up and have to turn over a lot more when I'm camping.
I think it's pretty normal.
And it's like left side to right side, left side, just alternating throughout the night. So I don't know. It's just the routine I go through, I think.
I wonder if there's any like divinations from that, like both
reading tea leaves.
Not the latter one, but like the actual like how you sleep, right? Like does that tell a personality thing? Like like the blood type thing? It's like, A type blood is this way, B type blood is this way.
I don't believe in any of that. I gotta say.
I don't think I believe in that either.
You don't have to believe in it, but it doesn't matter about believing. I just wonder if there's like a thing about it. Like
yeah. Like if you're a right-faced side sleep or a right-faced front sleeper, then you're more likely to.
Here we go.
Like be a scientist or be in
sleeping on your side say about you?
You're most likely like this. Like insert
what your sleep position
here.
Says about you. Here we go.
Man. Can we talk
surprise,
about
surprise.
This?
Okay. Let's see.
I want to know what I am.
Wait, first
free
put the article. Make sure to mention the article.
I'll share it to you guys here so you guys can read along with me.
Yeah, I'd love to read along.
So we got to find out what we are. So there's the free faller, the fetal position, the yearner, there's the log, the soldier, the starfish, and that's it. Apparently, very limited, I think. Okay. The yearner, you lie on your side with the ones that are stretched out in front of you. Boomers are more likely to sleep this way than millennials.
What kind of verbiage is this?
This is SciComm.net.
Boomers. Boomers? Who
fetal
uses
position.
that?
You lie on your stomach with your hands up by your pillow and your head turned to the side like a skydiver. Oh, that's Michael. Michael's the free faller.
I'm the free faller.
Yeah, you are the free faller.
Also known as the
That's
prone
a real
position,
thing.
seems to be more common with Gen Xers and millennials, according to a recent research by the BBC.
Do we get
Some
an
say free
explanation
fallers
for why?
don't take criticism well and tend to be brash, bold, and outspoken in nature.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Mike says.
Nah, I take criticism pretty well, but I won't say I'm not that brash or
Colton's the
outspoken.
log here.
Where? No,
You
wait,
lie on your
log?
side
Where's the
with
log?
both arms straight down.
No, that's exactly what I don't want to do. That's exactly the opposite. I don't
Only
like
about
logs.
6% of Americans report sleeping like a log.
I think
Wait, do you sleep in the fetal position?
I don't sleep in fetal position.
I sometimes do, but not. I don't. Knees bent, curled. It's not that extreme though. Like
I have an ad.
it's just a little bit.
I have an ad in the way of this.
It's
Of
the most
like
common.
the top
it's common.
five.
I know, right?
So annoying.
I got the same thing. Gotta get some good U-block installed.
None of these describe how I sleep, so this is not a good
Wait,
site.
one of these does. Isn't the one bottom right, the second to the right, kind of you?
You're
Well,
looking
that's-
at pictures. You gotta look at the actual descriptions. They don't cover what's all the pictures. There's only
yeah.
like. All right. Well, that was silly. But speaking of questions, I do want to. I did want to do this episode. I had found like years ago, like beginning of high school, I think this list of questions that's supposed to. Excuse me. That's supposed to like. I don't know. It's like deep thinking questions about personalities and stuff. And I thought it'd be fun to do some of them because it's some of them are, I remember a couple of them that it sounded really cool. Although it might take a second to read through some of these. So
I'm ready to discuss this.
Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to read the first one and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let us assume you meet a rudimentary magician.
Rudimentary.
And let us assume he can do 5 simple tricks. He can simple tricks. He can pull a rabbit out of his hat. He can make a coin disappear. He can turn the ace of spades into the Joker card and 2 others in a similar vein. There are only. Sorry, the verbiage here is a little weird. They are his only tricks, and he can't learn any more. He can only do those 5. However, it turns out he's doing these 5 tricks with real magic. It's not an illusion.
Okay.
He can actually conjure the bunny out of the aether, and he can move the coin through space. He's legitimately magical, but extremely limited in scope and influence.
Okay.
Would this person be more impressive than Albert Einstein?
Would he be more impressive, actually, or just the perception of him being more impressive?
Your perception of him.
My perception, yeah. If he's actually
These are
magic,
questions that's
I don't
asked to
care.
you.
Yeah, for me, he's more impressive than Albert Einstein. Dude, he could
I would
do
say
magic.
no.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, I want to know. Albert Einstein figured out relativity, but he didn't figure out how he can turn this ace into the
Yeah.
Joker in front of my eyes.
Basically, what's happening is
But who's
the
to
guy.
say this guy?
Okay.
Well,
the
no,
guy is
the guy can
learning
do
how to-
magic,
Yeah.
but only those 5 things. Like that's not very. I mean, yes, it's impressive, but like it's not like if he was actively learning to master magic. But if he can only do those things, then I don't know if it's as impressive.
Yeah, but he's just telling Einstein to fuck off because he's just breaking all the laws that Einstein created.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real here. Or
But
discovered / I don't know.
Yeah, but someone who actually can discover that stuff, I think, is a bit more impressive than someone who could just do some rudimentary stuff.
You get into the discussion of like, did he just know how to do this when he was born, and then he didn't have to try, whereas Einstein actually figured out some real stuff?
Maybe.
This guy is a
None
one.
of these are like, these are all like just like questions. There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
And Einstein also has more impact than he would, right? Because
Absolutely, way more.
Right.
The
His
theorems,
laws can do stuff.
yeah.
Or
Now
his,
this guy could go somewhere and say, "Hey, I can turn this ace of spades into a Joker. Like, watch me." can you just figure out the science behind it? I think he could still get pretty famous for that, but
maybe.
I don't know. I really run into the issue of like no one's going to take him seriously. Even if he does it, even if he does something right before their eyes, they're not going to take him seriously. That's the issue. He'll get fake newsed and like canceled or whatever immediately. Yep. At least now he would. I think, yeah, that's a good point. Is he impressive? He just does it. He knows how to do it. It's like me learning how to do a backflip. Does that mean I'm more impressive than Einstein just because I practiced it like for a month? Probably not. But maybe this guy was like Saitama and he did like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 for like
and to do it, he got 5 things
years.
He could do.
Yeah, for like 60 years. That's some dedication. I don't know. I think the guy with magic is more impressive. I'm gonna hone that in. That's my final answer.
You, Michael?
I have changed my opinion. I'm Einstein on this. I think.
Come on.
Discussion. I know.
Come on.
I know.
Magic Man.
Yeah, I think Einstein's more impressive too. Now, if some magic dude came along that could do more than 5 things or could like make more, then way more impressive for sure.
What would it take for him to be more impressive, you think? Like what actual trick / thing would he have to do?
That's a good
question. Just needs to be able to do more, continually make more.
If he flew?
Not limited to
flew.
See, I think if it's not limited to something like for me,
if he wasn't limited, it would be way more impressive.
Is it like Superman though? He
my
could do
qualifications are more like, all right, Einstein made an impact on society, right? This guy can make some fucking magic tricks that someone normal could just do because
nothing he can do with those 5 things makes an impact.
Yeah,
I think
besides knowing that magic exists, maybe you could
start a religion off this. He shows people that he could start a whole religion. He could start a war. I think he could have just as much impact as Albert Einstein.
We could start a religion out of this.
Okay, all right, interesting. Okay, this next question is a lot more morality based.
Oh, really?
Okay.
This is that was the warm up with Einstein.
That was warm up. So here we go. So let us assume a fully grown, completely healthy Clydesdale horse has its hooves shackled to the ground while its head is held in place with a thick rope. He is conscious and standing upright, but he is completely immobile. And let us assume that for some reason, this is kind of like a Death Note situation.
Yeah.
For some reason, every political prisoner on Earth, as cited by the Amnesty International, will be released from captivity if you can kick this horse to death in less than 20 minutes. And you are allowed to wear steel-toed boots. Would you attempt to do this?
They would be
whether or not you can actually kick it to death in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a real question. So
but would you attempt it?
Wait, so what's a political
prisoner? So someone who's imprisoned for basically being a political opponent to a ruling party.
A political opponent to a ruling party.
Usually imprisoned wrongly.
Yeah.
So
like a protester or something like that.
Oh God. And this is in the U.S. I'm gonna assume, or
and
like
this is across the world
on Earth.
Everyone. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm releasing like probably 75% good people, 25% bad people. I don't even know. Right?
You could argue that, sure. Who's to say if they're good or bad?
Am I releasing the imprisoned, the unjustly imprisoned by not kicking this horse then? Is that the angle I can take?
Nothing happens to the prisoners if you do nothing. But if you can kick this horse to death and kill it in 20 minutes, then all those prisoners get released.
Oh, then I thought it was the other way around. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me think.
So would you attempt to kick this horse to death?
Oh, this is like
basically kill a horse to release all political prisoners across the world, or attempt to kill a horse.
In which these prisoners are majority wrongly accused.
Yeah,
attempt, and you only have to attempt to kill it, right? You don't have to.
No, you have to kill it, but would you attempt to do it?
Oh, you can fail.
Yeah, kick it to death in 20 minutes. Happens. So I mean, first off, can you kick a horse to death in 20 minutes? Clydesdale horse.
Well, that's not the question. The question is, would you attempt to do this?
Yeah, that's true.
But you have to consider, can you actually do it? Can you? Can I?
Yeah.
What do you think, Sean? Can you?
So
I don't think I would do it, honestly. I don't think I would attempt this.
Because you don't think you can kick a horse to death in 20 minutes, or because you think that
because I don't think I don't want to kill this horse for all these people that I've never met. You know.
Okay. See, like
Yeah.
I'm in
this
the
is coming
position
from my commoner position. I don't know how many people are on this list.
Yeah.
You know, it could be 10. It could be 100,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those. It's definitely like a gray area morality question. I don't think I'd do it.
I think I would do it if I knew I could kill the horse, because I need a more definite, like, basically, like, all right, because we're releasing a lot of people who are wrongfully imprisoned for, like, basically it's you're releasing what's the guy Mendel.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you ever Nelson Mandela,
I
mean he was a political prisoner. I mean that's why he was imprisoned. So you basically obviously he got released on his own accord and then obviously passed away. But like say this happened, when he was imprisoned, same kind of effect. Plus also like thousands of other people who are political prisoners. I mean, whatever the definition of political prisoner, but yeah, who knows?
The evil thing about this question.
Okay, let me read this here.
Okay.
Let me read you the physical characteristics of a fully grown Clydesdale horse.
Because I don't think I can kick a Clydesdale horse to death.
Please enlighten me.
Now, this is what I'm reading this from SeaWorld's website. I don't know why.
SeaWorld's. We've seen the question. We're going to give you these criteria.
Adult male Clydesdales measure 17 to 19 hands, 5.7 to 6.3 feet. And that's
hands.
To its shoulders. So the head would be taller. So head would probably be 7 to 8 feet off the ground. A male's average weight is between 1,700 to 2,200 pounds, which is 771 to 998 kilograms. And females are not that far behind. Yeah. So,
Colton, have you ever seen a Budweiser commercial with the horses?
Yeah, is that one?
That's a Clydesdale. It's a big fucking horse.
I mean, he's one of the biggest horses on the planet.
Okay.
And
so it's just
like in my head, I'm like, if I were to kill it, I'd kick it in the head. Let's say. I don't think I could reach the head.
That is the thing.
Wait. So like, we can't just like kick it. I could. You're gonna try to roundhouse.
Yeah, I'd have to like backflip or something. the evil thing.
They'd be kicking above your head, like 8 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to try and hit it with my arms, and there's no way. There's no way.
Well,
I can't bring it down.
To death. The qualification is you kick the thing to death.
Yep,
right?
You got to kick. Yep.
Well, does it only have to die by a kick? Could you get it on the ground
I get a ladder?
from different methods?
I would say you can get a ladder.
Sure. You could probably get a ladder. Yeah.
Actually, I think at this point I need one of those like aircraft like boarding ramps that like raise and lower, because I think a ladder would be too unstable. This is really macabre, but it's kind of interesting.
The bad thing about this question is it's like trying to get me to think about how I'm going to kill this horse. That's the dirty part of it. It's not about like whether I would or wouldn't do it. Almost, it's more about like, how do I kill this horse? How do I ensure that I kill it to make sure that I free the prisoners? I wouldn't do it. I don't think I could do it.
But then once you ensure that, say you could, do you then make the decision of trying to?
Yeah.
Once I ensure that I can.
Well, if you think you can kill a horse in under 20 minutes,
I don't think I can.
Would you do it? Is the question.
Okay, so my answer to the full question, I don't think I could do it. I wouldn't do it. Now, if I thought I could do it for somehow, if I could, like let's say someone said, you only need like 5 minutes, bro. Like it's not that hard.
Someone with that experience.
I don't know. Like I'm just saying, if someone asked me to,
20 of these to death. It's like it's okay,
I do
bro.
10 a
man.
day.
Yeah. Exactly right.
That's how we got. I don't know if I still don't know if I'd do it.
That's a really.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Political prisoners. They're not bad people. I could be wrongly imprisoned. If I knew I could do it, I'd do it. That's my answer.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it actually, because I don't know if I can. So,
yeah, and that's my thoughts. I don't think I could kick a Clydesdale to death in 20 minutes.
Even if the horse was laying his head on the ground and allowing me to get a full kick to it, I wouldn't do it, because I just don't know. I just don't think I have the confidence.
All right.
It's
Interesting
like
results.
Sean's like writing our
ours
answers
is very
and judging our
utilitarian,
personalities.
whereas yours is a bit more like I won't never kick a horse to death. Like moral.
Yeah.
It's like, would
more
you
so
kick,
moral, I would say.
I feel like the same thing is like, would you kick a person to death? Like that's less morally evil, or I guess most people have less of an issue to do it to a person. Would you do that to
Really?
a person? I think so. Like kicking a horse to death versus
I would say it's the other way around, probably.
You think kicking
I think
a human
it's
to
the other
death?
way around.
You think kicking a human to death is more morally an issue, or is less of a moral issue than kicking a horse to death?
That's hard because humans fucking suck. So I mean,
Really?
like,
I would be.
Well,
It would be
but
way
who's
harder.
to say, who's to say it's a bad person? You know,
Well, exactly.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing. It's like it's just a random person.
you're assuming it's a bad person, and then I would just say, all things normal, it's just a random person.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
not like
couldn't
the
kick a
people in
random
prison.
person.
That's like that psychological
when you change
experiment
out with
where
a
they
human,
told
then
someone
it's
to
like totally,
shock it.
totally different.
Every instructor tells you to shock a person.
Oh,
and it goes
yeah.
below
Yeah.
the lethal dose. Still do it.
But-
Most people would do it if someone told them to.
But that's like an interrogation thing where it's like about someone telling someone to do this. Is like, all right, are you weighing the life of someone, like thousands of lives, right, of people who are stuck in prison right now versus one life? It's it's kind of a trolley problem more so. I see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just watched this in Attack on Titan too.
Kind of. I know
true.
exactly
One life
how I'd
versus the
play
many.
that shock game. I know exactly how I'd play it.
How would you play
But- Do we want to go on to the next question, or do we want to dive into this theory?
it? Let's just do it. It's up to you. Sean's the host.
I want to hear I don't know what Colton was talking. What do you mean shot problem?
So like the experiment is the person.
Oh,
on
shock.
The,
Okay,
the shock.
SHOCK. Not I heard SHOT.
The shot experiment. I would be very brutal in that experiment. And long story short,
Really?
What I would do is because the experiment is the person gets asked questions, right? Simple questions, and they have to answer correctly. If they don't, then you get to shock them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm assuming they're asking them questions like, "What's 5 + 4?
Sure.
How many fingers are on your right hand?" If they got that wrong, I'd turn it all the way up and I'd shock them, and I'd be like, "Don't get it wrong."
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Dude, seriously,
Wow.
it's like if you're messing with me, then don't mess with me. Like I don't know. I'd be like, don't get the question wrong.
That's the
I
under
would
the assumption you know the thing.
Well, like
All right,
I thought you
do
weren't
you
allowed
think-
to stop. Or
Well,
That's the whole thing.
you-
Is like you're basically
it's a
saying-
voluntary thing. So they came
Yeah.
in here like you get a $50 for pressing this button when we tell you to, and if you don't do it when he tells you, you don't get $50. So let's say that's the reward. I don't know what it was in the original experiment.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
basically like an authority thing of like are you willing to challenge authority and not do it, or are you going to follow exactly the instructions?
Yeah, I mean
For
the thing in the experiment is
$50.
that people didn't need to listen to this guy; they just did.
Yeah, and also they weren't actually shocking people. Like it was just like
yeah, it was just
recorded sounds.
Yeah. Okay, well, that'd be pretty brutal. I think. I thought it was for like, I thought it was like for $5 grand
change.
for $50. For $50, I don't think I'd do it. But for like $5 grand, if it's like you get 5 + 9 wrong, okay, bro, and you just answered the previous questions
bro,
correct,
dead.
It's like, bro, come
Lethal.
on, man.
Jesus.
All right, next question.
Well,
All right. So this one's
think
an
that's more
interesting
interesting
one.
than the horse question. It's
Let us assume there are two boxes on a table, okay? In one box, there is a relatively normal turtle. In the other, Adolf Hitler's skull.
Okay.
You have to select one of these items for your home. If you select the turtle, you can't give it away, and you have to keep it alive for 2 years. If either of these parameters are not met, you'll be fined $1,000 by the state.
Okay.
If you select Hitler's skull, you are required to display it in a semi-prominent location in your living room for the same amount of time, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Although you will be paid $120 per month for doing so. Display of the skull must be apolitical. What option do you select?
so it's like a skull on a plaque or a skull on a stand.
Yeah, a skull on like a stand, and I imagine you
Actually,
don't.
can I have a skull in a jar?
Sure, why
Maybe
not?
it's like really decorated. Yeah.
No, I would do the turtle.
120 a month. Hold on. Let me, how much money is on the table here? 120 times. That's $2,800 over the course of 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically, are you willing to be paid $2,800 to basically have it off Hitler's skull? I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I think I'd have the turtle.
I'd be like weirded out
by
by
take care of the turtle.
I don't really care whose skull it is. I think my problem is more of having a skull in my living room.
Yeah, like a living skull.
Having like that evil person, their skull.
That doesn't affect me. That doesn't do anything for me.
Oh,
I don't
really?
really care whose skull it is. It's more a fact that I have a human skull and someone walks in my living room and goes, "Why is there a human skull in your living room?"
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, honestly,
that's what I would. The problem with the turtle though is you have to keep it alive for 2 years, which it's not too bad.
Honestly,
That's
the
such a bad- it's a turtle.
the angle of like, yeah, I have Adolf Hitler's skull here, and like that's cool, I guess, cool. But then you're like, yeah, isn't that pathetic? He's just now a display in some random person's room. It's pathetic.
Maybe it'd
And
be
I'd get
like
paid
good thing.
for
You'd be
it.
like, hey, you want to spit on this skull? Like,
Yeah.
Right? Hey, yeah, $20 to
Screw
spend on the
you.
skull. You
Yeah.
make,
then
make
you make
extra
even more
money.
money. Oh,
Yeah.
man, maybe I will pick the skull.
I think if I take it from
$20,
that angle, it's like
$100 to piss on it.
I get weirded out though. Like I wouldn't want to see that thing at night when I go up to get like some water. Does that make
Same.
sense? Or like
That's the thing is there's a skull in my living room.
yeah,
I mean,
that's a little weird. It's just this
And it
weird
moves.
off-putting thing.
Oh, that'd be weird.
But the turtle, it's like that's so much more annoying. Is
A
it?
turtle's not annoying. It's a fucking turtle.
How long
It doesn't
does it live?
do much. It
How
just
long
like
could it go
hangs
without
out.
eating? How long could it go without eating?
Jeez, I'm gonna starve
Like-
turtle. I'll just feed the turtle. It's a freaking turtle. It's like having a fish.
Yeah,
I
the
guess a
turtle,
little bit more
the
than a
turtle
fish.
wouldn't
You
be
gotta
that
have like
bad.
the sun lamp thing, right? Like,
But then you have to like buy all this equipment for it, and you're only going to get fined $1,000, right? If you don't keep it alive.
turtles can be quite small. You know.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm liking Sean. I'm liking the plan of us just getting it up and basically, hey,
I
you want to come
kinda
to my
like
home
that
and piss
too.
on it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I kind of like that too, though. I'm just gonna say I'd be really afraid if I got offered this and they were offering the skull. I'd be like, "There's a catch," and I don't think I'd do it just for for the one reason that there's like some sort of weird catch
I
to
think
it.
I'd probably do the turtle. I mean, like just like
Yeah.
if the cost of the skull was higher, like if they paid me more, I'd be tempted to
Yeah.
do the skull.
Yeah.
Like let's say they give you $1,000 a month. Heck yeah, I'll take the skull.
Yeah.
And
if there's a money making opportunity to be made from it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I sure as hell wouldn't. You have to display it in like a prominent space. You can't hide it. So that's like an issue.
Semi-prominent.
Semi-prominent. So I have to
Semi-prominent.
put it on like.
So it could be the corner of the living room.
Yeah, but it's always looking at you. Can I have it? If I had it face the wall,
Yeah, face the wall. You can do that.
I would do that. I don't want that thing looking at me.
yeah.
That's fine.
I would do that.
I feel like
Maybe.
you get some really bad
Maybe.
vibes. Although I'd probably
God.
have to sell my house afterward.
If
People
I
like,
had a
like-
bigger living room, I'd do the skull.
To like
Because
keep
then
it
I
out
could
of
better
your
hide it.
yeah, you can like be out of your vision. Man, it'd be better if the question was like it has to always face towards like your computer screen or like couch.
Oh,
Yep.
that'd be
That would like that's weirdly would change my answer. Like that would actually change. I would not
yeah,
like
I
that.
think it would.
I think that's like there's just some serious negative vibes I'd get from
Yeah.
having the skull of someone like that.
I think I'd do the turtle just because it would be kind of fun to own a turtle, I guess. And
Yeah.
the vibes
like
are
having a
just
pet.
bad. The vibes are bad with that skull. It's just
Vibes are bad. Bad juju.
It is.
bad juju, yeah.
Okay.
These are good questions. I enjoy these questions.
Okay. Here's a weird question. Okay.
I love it.
Oh, and then the one after that's really, really bad. Okay. So, question number 4. Genetic engineers at Johns Hopkins University have developed a so-called super gorilla. Though the animal cannot speak, it has a sign language lexicon of over 12,000 words and an IQ of almost 85, which I believe is greater than the average person.
85?
Average
greater?
IQ is 100. It's a bell curve.
What's the average lexicon for someone? How many words do people know?
Probably less.
Probably less, yeah.
And most
85
notably,
is like the one standard deviation below.
okay,
I think.
gotcha. So, okay, then most notably, a vague sense of self-awareness. It's kind of odd. Oddly, the creature, who weighs 700 pounds, becomes fascinated by football. The gorilla aspires to play the game at its highest level and quickly develops the rudimentary skills of a defensive end. ESPN analyst Tom Jackson, I don't know who this is, speculates that this gorilla will be borderline unblockable and likely average 6 sacks a game.
Not borderline. That'd be fucking
unblockable.
Although Jackson concedes the beast might be susceptible to counters and misdirection plays. Meanwhile, the gorilla has made it clear he would never intentionally injure any opponent. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You are the commissioner of the NFL. Would you allow this gorilla to sign with the Oakland Raiders?
No freaking way I would allow that.
How much money are you going to pay me?
Yeah, if you bribe me, I might do that. That's such an ungodly disadvantage due to like your genetic makeup.
The scary thing is I was joking about I don't think I would ever do it because what's going to happen is someone's going to get killed. That gorilla weighs twice as much as the average linebacker. So.
But it would never intentionally hurt anybody. That's the thing.
You know how many unintentional injuries occur in football? A lot.
Yeah. I don't think it would. Honestly, it's not even for the reason that it would kill someone. It's just, it's so unfair. I don't think it makes sense to allow that gorilla in.
Oh, really? The fairness? That's
700 pounds? 700 pounds? No way. I'm not concerned with the gorilla killing anyone. If their IQ is 85, if that's one standard deviation down from like average, I think that's fine. I don't think it's going to do anything weird. Like, it's not going to go after, it's not going to let out a rage or whatever. But that's just silly. It's like the guy taking steroids, like who's been roiding up, is still not going to be able to handle the gorilla. I mean, he can be like a celebrity and come out on like a whatever, like fake games or whatever. I don't know, like some other type of game. But I don't think I'd let him in. Does that mean he's gonna like just run out of the lab and just start wrecking shit if I don't let him in?
No, he's just a like
he's just a dude essentially.
Just a dude, a really big dude.
I'd probably do some sort of petition, you know, and see if it goes yay or nay. I probably put it to popular vote.
Yeah, one problem would be communication, right? Obviously, he has to use sign language, so you have someone.
That's true.
I don't know if there are any. Are there any deaf football players?
I don't know if there are any deaf football players. I don't think so.
But I mean, he's a defensive lineman. He's only got one job, really.
He literally just has to do this, and he's like got two or three people just covered. It's like, just do that, and you're good, man. So I don't know. I don't think I'd do it. It's just so unfair.
I'd be up for it if there was like a commission, like I would as the commissioner, I would allow it, assuming everyone else was like, or a majority was like, yeah, let's do it. I think 100%.
I guess if people thought it was okay, then yeah, that's fine. If it's only up to me, man, no way. Sorry, guy, you're awesome.
Because this isn't a great idea. Because if this university, this is going off the bounds of the question, but if this university can make one of these gorillas, they can make multiple. As the NFL commissioner, I am thinking, this is an amazing a business opportunity. I can become the manager of the GNFL. The Gorilla National Football League.
That is,
and we just have a whole other level of gameplay.
Now, if you had 700-pound gorillas playing football, I can't even imagine the like carnage that could happen in one.
Do you know how far they could throw that ball?
And they wouldn't even get hurt. They wouldn't even get hurt. It's like they throw each other across the field, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, although gorillas can't throw things well.
Oh,
humans are really the only monkeys that can actually throw things pretty well.
Is that like biological rotation based?
It's because our arms are really long. Are long. I think it was they're long and they're just designed for throwing, right? Like that's why we became apex predators, because we basically just be able to
can they toss?
Really nicely.
Can they toss?
They can toss stuff.
All right, there you go.
And they can like kind of.
You ever seen the video of the orangutan tossing? He's like, I forget what he's tossing to some guy. I think it's some food. They were just like tossing it back and forth.
Now, if there's a dispute on the field, though, and the gorillas start fighting each other, I don't know how you're going to break it up, because there's no way I'm breaking that up. You just got to evacuate the stadium or like tase them. But then you have Planet of the Apes at that point. And that's,
that's right.
This is basically a Planet of the Apes question here.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, if you're the NFL commissioner and you say no, does that convince the gorilla to rise up and make more?
I
Or
really
say yes,
not.
and then they're like humans are okay, and then there's no no uprising.
Yeah, if I'm preventing Planet of the Apes, then yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
I'm thinking long term here.
Yeah.
Yep. You're out playing 4D chess with this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's an interesting question.
It is an
Kinda
interesting
silly.
question. You can go off a lot of directions with that one and add to it.
Dude, all these questions you go off on a lot of directions.
Yeah.
All of our answers have been different.
This is good.
For different reasonings.
Yeah. I want to know this
All right, so
fucked up one. It's coming up.
This
here.
one's pretty intense. So you meet your soulmate, okay? You know it, they know it, soulmates.
Yep.
However, there's a catch.
Oh.
Every 3 years, someone will show up and break your soulmate's collarbones with a crescent wrench.
What the fuck? That's so oddly specific.
And there is only one way to stop this from happening. You must swallow a pill that will make every song you hear for the rest of your life sound as if it's being played by the band Alice in Chains.
Oh, that's not a problem at all. Alice in Chains isn't too bad, and I don't listen to music, so it's
like
fine.
it's like a metal band.
Yeah.
Metal's cool.
If you see, any band live or, any music at all will sound like it's being played by Alice in Chains.
Oh, that sound like it's being played by?
When you hear a commercial jingle on TV,
Alice in Chains.
when you sound a cover, when you sing to yourself in the shower,
Sounds like
your
Alice.
voice will sound like the deceased Alice vocalist Lane Stanley performing a cappella. But it will only sound this way to you. Would you swallow this pill?
Yes.
Yeah. I think so. Collarbones every 3 years.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I would say, I'm sorry, this is not going to work out.
That would suck a lot. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, that's like
I'm not going to put them through it. They're not going to break the collarbones. I'm just going to say, I'll find someone else.
No perfect soulmate.
Yeah, now that I agree with. I agree with, like, if I had the choice to break up with that person or not, I would not do it. However, what if you can't? What if you have to stay with them? I mean, I would.
Level, yeah.
That's dark right there.
I would do it.
Well,
I mean, like,
we're assuming we're assuming the soulmate's like, oh, everything's rosy and perfect. You guys fight, but there's nothing's like too crazy.
It's like truly, you are meant to be.
Yeah,
I would say, I would do it. I'd alleviate their suffering for, like, I guess I would never be able to enjoy music as much anymore, but. It's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess what this question boils down to is a person is a person worth not listening to music ever again, essentially?
Yeah, basically. Yes. I think so.
I think no for me, honestly.
Even if you had to stay with them, you'd be like, all right, sucks. Collarbones are getting broken. You understood the pact.
No, I wouldn't stay with them. I wouldn't I just wouldn't stay with them. I wouldn't want them to their collarbones be broken, But who's to say they know about the deal? I mean, let's say
this is a random thing that happens. Oh, sorry, honey, that sucks.
I mean, that's some mental trauma, though. I wouldn't put that person through it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I couldn't be with that person because I need music.
I'm just imagining it's like 3 years in. You're 1 year into your marriage, right? It's like your anniversary or whatever like that. And I was like, "Hey, honey," some random guy comes up, your anniversary dinner, and just
let's say this girl is pregnant,
Oh, geez.
with your kids.
Yeah,
it could happen.
And then someone shows up and breaks their collarbone.
You'd plan that, though. You'd plan it. You know it's coming.
You plan it.
You know it's coming. You have to be like, all right, not this year. Let's just wait. Let's wait after next year.
Hey, honey, let's wait
Don't
another
ask
year.
why. I'm just not ready.
Oh, jeez.
No, yeah, I wouldn't take the pill. If I figured this out, I would stop seeing the pill.
I think I would agree. I agree. I would not go through with that over long term. That's just, music is so much. It's so much. Like, that's a lot. Music is with you.
Music's very important to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's with you when you don't have a significant other. Like, that's what you use. You need it.
Yep. When you don't have your significant
and
other,
even if you like, I don't know, like, even if you like, you're playing your video game and it's Alice in Chains, it's like, oh my god, please, no.
See, that's the thing. It's like, if you don't like Alice in Chains, then Yeah, I mean, it also get kind of like old at times, I bet. Although it's
I like Alice in Chains.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Alice in Chains, I think, but all the time would
all
just
music.
Be, doesn't matter what
all
band
music
it is.
Ever. Like when the McDonald's theme tune is playing, it would sound like Alice in Chains.
Dude, that'd be dope. Are you kidding? An Alice in Chains rendition of the McDonald's theme?
When you're at a train station, just the Alice in Chains theme. God, when you hear anything, it's just Alice in Chains.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, here'd be the sad irony though. I bet my soulmate would love music, love listening to music, and it'd be like everything would be them listening to music like all the time.
That's probably it.
And like for me, like I don't really listen to music on the reg, so I mean, it'd make Attack on Titan a little worse because like, you know,
the opening song to every anime sounds like a Japanese Alice in Chains.
Japanese, yeah.
Dang. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. Yeah, music is too important for me.
Yeah. It's basically music or your significant other, I feel like. Well, yeah, it basically is. Or your soulmate.
This next question I really like. So at long last, somebody invents the Dream VCR.
Oh, great.
Or DVR, whatever.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
This machine allows you to tape an entire evening's worth of your own dreams, which you can then watch at your leisure.
I'm wondering if this is going a certain direction.
The inventor of the Dream VCR will only allow you to use this device if you agree to a strange caveat. When you watch your dreams, you must do so with your family and your closest friends in the same room.
Yeah, I thought that was going to this direction.
They get to watch your dreams along with you, and if you
one.
don't agree to this, you can't use the Dream VCR. Would you still do this?
Nope.
I think
100% yes for me.
I think you can play it off. Just be like, dude, my dreams, who the heck knows what's happening? If you see something weird, like, everyone has weird shit going on, right?
Sure.
I'd do it.
I don't actively dream. I don't remember my dreams. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, so you would know. You could be anything for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm like, I don't know what's in there. There may be some dark shit in there. I don't know. Pass.
I've talked about my dreams already on this podcast. 100% I want to see a live video of this. They'd be awesome.
Now, do you get to like pick and choose? You're like, oh, I had a great dream last night. I'd like to re-watch that. So then you just like get
I would
your family
assume you
and friends.
can if you'd be like, I remember having a good dream last night. Let's watch dreams tonight, guys.
Yeah. I would do
right.
it, I think that's definitely worth it. And then if anything weird happens, then just blow it off to being like, well, dude, everyone has weird shit happen in their dreams. If you don't have weird shit happening, then you're the weird one. I'd be very prideful in my weird
The question is, could you record this? Could you get the recording and then, let's upload it to YouTube, let's say?
Yeah. Like, do you get the recording and then...
Yeah.
Because that would
like
mean
you have to watch it with your friends and family, right? But then you get the recording, you're like, well,
like, sweet.
It's mine, right? I can use it, and
it's content. It's free content.
It's free content. Like all I have to do to make content is dream or go to sleep. It's awesome.
Make a career off lucid dreaming. Yeah, I think that's definitely worth it.
I 100% would do it.
The only weird thing is like sometimes you have weird dreams and you know they're weird and you know your family would not approve, but you still want to watch them. Do you still watch them? Do you just do it and be like, that was a weird dream. I just want to see what happened, guys. Like, don't judge me.
Yeah. Especially like if it's a not safe for work dream.
Well, that's what
that's what
I'm saying.
What if you have one of those? You're like,
what if you
I don't want to watch that with my family.
What if you want to have that content and then you just don't have it anymore?
Yeah.
Or like you have to watch it. Like, I don't know. That'd be tough. But then you still get to choose. It's like you get to choose like, oh, I had a dream that's like NSFW. Okay, do I want to keep that or do I not want to keep that? No, okay.
That's a good that's a good caveat to add. Is like, okay,
do you have to every day?
What you're saying, Sean, in this specific question is every single dream you watch has to be with your friends and family, right?
Correct. Yeah.
What if you don't have a choice and you always have to? Every dream you have is like shared. Like your friends and family have to watch.
Do you have to watch every single dream?
What? I don't know if there'd be a way to categorize them. I think how I'm interpreting the question is, if you had let's say last night I had a dream and I want to watch that, I'd have to then play all the dreams I had during that night with everybody. Now, whether or not you remember anything you don't want shown or not, but like all of it's recorded. because you don't remember a lot of dreams. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
You could have
Wait,
4
could I-
and
you'll just
only
have-
remember 1.
I don't think you can pick and choose, but
I
So,
think
like,
that's how I'm interpreting the
I
question.
want to watch this stream, but I don't want to because like if I can pick and choose, like I don't want to do this stream, I don't want to watch this stream ever, or I don't want to replay the stream and rewatch it. Right? It may be an awesome dream, especially if, it's a nice NSFW dream. It's like, hey, cool, but I'm not going to watch it with my friends and family. So, well, it's in the past now. Shit. But if I have the option, to, it's like, oh, I can pick and choose. Then yeah, I'll watch them.
honestly,
But
I think the other way around is
no
the way
choice.
is the way to go. Because here's the thing: say you want to have an NSFW, you want to record that. If you have to watch all your dreams that you had that night, like if you had 4 dreams, let's say you had an NSFW dream, and you're like, I want to watch that. I want that one. However, you're like worried about going to your family. You just pretend that you had a different dream. Pretend that you didn't really remember it that well. You want to watch it. You watch it. You get the NSFW dream, and you're like, well, whatever. Everyone has NSFW dreams. Who cares? And then you just play it
I
off
see
as
what
like,
you're
whatever. Like it's just another
but
random.
you're still gonna watch it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
It's like watching Game of Thrones with your family.
if you're going
I
through
do
with
that.
this, if you're going through with this deal, I mean, everyone has it. I think if I would play the card, if anyone judges me for this, I'd be like, you have the same dreams. You cannot judge me. Everyone has it. Whether
Here's
they
the
like
thing,
it or
though.
not.
Here's the thing. What if after so many times of your friends and family watching these with you, you're like, man, we don't want to watch these with you anymore.
Oh,
You
that
can't watch
would
any
suck.
more dreams.
If they refuse, I would be so mad. If it's up to the will of them,
Or if they refused, would that get you out of it? And you could just watch them all at your leisure, as opposed to needing your friends.
I think that's an easy choice. However, if they have the right to take away my dream watching, that would suck. I'd still do it, but it would still suck. That would suck a lot.
I do this. I really want to see. My dreams.
we got all of our caveats. So I would do it if you could pick and choose which streams you selected to rewatch. So I could go, all right, I'm gonna delete some of these dreams, and I can never watch them again, but I don't have to watch them with friends and family. Colton, you're saying you would do it where you'd go 100%, but you still want to do it where your friends and family are forced to watch it. So that way, when you choose to watch a dream, they're like, all right, we have to be here.
Yeah. Or like we all like stream it and watch together. Yeah.
Yeah. And Colton, Sean, you would do it if
I just do regardless. I want this to
You
happen.
just
I want
want
to
it.
see my dreams.
Yeah. It's a good deal. I think that's a good deal.
All right.
You could make so much money off that, even if you didn't even care about the dream content. Think of all the money you could make off that.
Oh, the free content would be awesome.
Just straight up, just even if you didn't care, it's like such a good win.
Yep. Just auto upload.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
It'd be very cool.
All right. You
All
got
right,
one more
okay,
for us?
this is a good one here. I've thought about this a lot before. Okay. You are watching a movie in a crowded theater. The plot is mediocre. You find yourself dazzled by the special effects, though. So imagine some of the best special effects you've ever seen.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Decent plot, whatever. With
It's your
20
average
minutes.
Marvel movie.
Let's not rehash that. With 20 minutes left in the film, you are struck with an undeniable feeling of doom. You are suddenly certain your mother has just died. There is no logical reason for this to be true, but you are certain of it. You are
You know it
overtaken
happened.
with the irrational, metaphysical sense that somewhere your mom has just perished. But this is only an intuitive, amorphous feeling. There is no evidence of this, and your mother has not been ill. Would you immediately exit the theater, or would you finish watching the movie?
Immediately exit.
I don't know.
I think I would keep watching.
I've thought about this a lot, and
I think I would.
I think I would too, because
It's not going to change anything if I leave now or later.
right, like,
But
if
then
my
again,
mom,
you just
if my
watch the
mom
movie
died,
later.
she died, and I can't change that. It's not like she got hit by a car and is in the hospital. It's not like that. It's like
Yeah.
dead. Although, if I got this feeling, I doubt I'd be able to
Enjoy it as
enjoy
much,
the rest
yeah.
of the movie anyway.
No,
Yeah.
I would definitely exit the movie theater and give my mom a call immediately. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, I guess the movie is like you can just go watch it again. Like why?
Yeah.
Why
it makes
stay
the
in
most
theater?
sense to leave. I mean, like if it's a mediocre thing, I mean,
well, I think it's actually from a logical standpoint, it makes more sense to finish watching the movie because your mom's dead, or may or not be dead, but you can have no control over that.
right. But this is not a logical
right?
question. This is all about your perception, and I think.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it would probably take me about like 3 to 4 minutes to make the decision.
Yeah, because you'd be like, I'm not watching the movie, and it's.
I think I just have this really nagging feeling because if I'm absolutely certain of it, you know.
Yeah, you are absolutely certain of it.
Frankly, I get some of these doom moments on occasion. It's not like extremely, but like where like I'll just get like that feeling of like something's up, and sometimes they're actually on point. Most of the time they're not. But there's some times where I've had it where it's like something's up and it's like you're like, yeah.
Huh.
I've heard that happen with twins, where twins will like if a twin's in danger, they'll be like
the other able to
know what's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
feel
for me, I mean, I don't have a twin.
I feel like if I had this thing, I'd like go through the same process in the theater and be like, it's stupid, it's not stupid. Well, I can just watch the movie, and then I'd probably leave over time. Over like after the first couple minutes, like you, Sean. I think.
Yeah, I think it would take me a couple minutes to be like, it would be like a nagging thing. Like I just gotta check this out, you know, just in case.
Usually, I'm pretty good at talking myself out of stuff like that. Like I'm the person that if I saw a ghost, I'd be like talking myself out of it, being like that wasn't real, and then just move on. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
because it's this random feeling. I mean, there's no way. My mom's been in perfect health, not ill, all this stuff. I mean, like, there's no reason this would happen.
Yeah, I would. But then I can't. I am. We're going off the assumption that I can't like dismiss it, and it's like super prominent.
Yeah,
and it'd probably be a feeling that I haven't really felt before. So I'd probably leave. I think
I'd probably leave after a couple minutes. I think that's
it'd take me a while. I'd be battling.
Keep in mind, there's 20 minutes left in the film. Not that you would know
it's not like the movie is like keeping me there. It's like the best special effects I've ever saw in my life. I don't really care about that.
I've never walked out of a movie ever, so
yeah.
All right, what if you knew the movie had the best ending of any movie ever?
And it was a one-time airing.
Ooh, changing the question. New
not
question.
Not one-time airing, just best movie. Not one-time airing, just.
Well, who told me this?
Ending.
Was it a critic?
Was it a critic?
Right?
I believe the critic. No, just 5 out of 5.
Just like the talking to people, right? Like they're like, this movie has the best ending of any movie I've ever seen. Just like
I don't know if that changes how I feel about the whole situation. It's still a nagging thing. I'm not going to be able to enjoy the ending, just like I won't be able to enjoy the special effects.
Yeah,
I think that's how I'd take it. Quite sure that's how I'd take it. It's
like if I was watching Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale.
Just like this one time.
20 minutes to go.
No. Better one. Let's do Code Geass. You're watching that the final episode. You have the last
like
episode.
the last episode's up.
Because let's be real, best ending in anime.
What would change this question the most for me is if I couldn't watch the movie later.
Yeah, like that's just your one chance to see it for whatever reason.
What if this was a one-time showing and that's it?
For whatever reason, yeah.
I would be more likely to stay.
Yeah, same. Because it's like then I'd be like, I can't change it. This is a one-time airing. Might as well.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't enjoy the rest of my time in the theater, but like I might stick around.
Yeah.
Although, so I'm hit by this feeling. Okay. Now, if my phone starts going off a bunch, I would then leave.
That's pretty tough. Yeah.
But if my phone doesn't go off, then everything's probably fine.
Do you not turn off your phone in a movie theater?
It's silence, but like it buzzes.
I turn mine completely off in a movie theater.
Oh, well, mine buzzer's not loud, so I only feel it.
Yeah, I usually have the buzzer on too, but that is a good point. You could try to, but by the time I realized that, I'd be like, the movie would be done by the time I figured that one out. So I think
that's a good question.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That question makes me think a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Does it make you think?
Weirdly, because it's a super simple one, you know?
It is pretty simple. It does make you think like, oh, what's actually going on?
And Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but I'd probably leave the theater.
Love you, Mom.
Love you. I feel like I've talked about this with them before. Like usually, like I've asked this of of guys and girls before, and majority of women will say they immediately leave the theater. Guys usually take a bit to think about it. From what I've from the sample size that I have asked before.
That is an interesting question, or interesting data point, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, I have another question. This is interesting. This is a weird one. You meet a wizard in downtown Chicago.
Awesome.
Cool.
The wizard tells you
there's like 20 of them down there, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is real life.
Okay, and here's where it gets interesting. The wizard tells you he can make you more attractive if you pay him money. When you ask how the process works, the wizard points to a random person on the street. You look at this random person. The wizard says, "I will now make them $1 more attractive." He waves his magic wand. He's got a wand.
Yep.
Ostensibly, this person does not change at all. As far as you can tell, nothing is different. But somehow, this person is suddenly a little more appealing. The tangible difference is invisible to the naked eye, but you can't deny that this person is vaguely sexier. This wizard has a weird rule that you can only pay him once. You can't keep paying him money until you're satisfied. You can only pay him one lump sum up front. How much cash do you give the wizard? Let's say he takes Venmo too. So how much money do you give the wizard?
If I know for certain that it was done and that was positive, I'd probably throw him like $1,000 or something like that.
$1,000?
Yeah, like I'd throw
a couple hundred.
Like honestly, if $1,000 that is that Sigma Chad? Am I now Sigma Chad male? like
you are the Sigma Chad.
I don't even if I'm not.
1,000.
You're the alpha and omega of Sigma Chads.
Yeah, I think. Like, honestly, once in a lifetime chance, I've got an emergency fund. I just throw them part of that, and that's great.
Because remember, if you're more attractive, like, chances are you can make more money. Like, there's a ratio of like, all right, the more attractive you are, the more money you make. It's kind of a thing.
But there's no guarantee this happens, though.
But
it's true, and it's just like
don't you know he gets more attractive?
He could be fucking with you and be like, oh, it's actually the feeling in your head, and they're actually
that's where I'm going with this. So
that's
what I would think. It's like I don't necessarily believe you. Now, Colton, it could be a thing. He could make you more attractive, but you don't know. It's not confirmed. He's just pointing at a person. Yeah, when you ask for an explanation,
but you're like he's somehow more. Isn't that like a tangible? Like you know for a certainty that he's just a little bit more appealing, just a little bit.
Well, see, this is my thinking, because if I saw this person and like, okay, I looked at them and they did the one thing and they're a bit more attractive, I'm thinking, okay, let's say what they just did was $1. That means $1 is actually quite a bit, if I can vaguely tell.
Yeah.
So
that's what I think.
In my mind, $20-$50.
Really?
And that's probably like, a couple more points, couple jumps up, potentially.
But what does $1,000 get you? Like
what exactly? What is it? $1,000 would probably get you the most attractive person on earth.
But also remember, think about the caveats, right? As we were discussing, it may just be, it's attractive to you, so it's only
just changing your taste
from your perception.
The caveat is just you lose money. For nothing.
That's true.
Well, how do you know?
You're right. It's a gamble.
Is it? Yeah, I guess you don't know what it's based off society's standards, based off his own standards.
But there's no guarantee that it's actually making like you. Or the other
it would be
person
making you
more attractive, because it's like, as you said, right? It's like not like they don't really change physically. They just went. There's somehow more.
But it was only $1, so.
Yeah,
I mean, if you gave him $1,000, I'm sure you would change more than just a vague sense.
Or like
assuming this thing scales,
somehow have this glow. Yeah. I would do it
if I into the alpha chat. Yeah,
because like I know there's at least a tangible difference. If I give him $1,000 and there's only like, and it was like some weird caveat where I only get it more attractive to my own personal vision of attractiveness, I'd still probably do it, because my personal vision of very attractiveness is still somewhat in line with society's.
What if it's attractive to you and only you? So you look in the
so
mirror
I like
and you're
myself.
Damn,
I'm like,
that person
asexual
looks
now.
really hot.
Yeah, I'm like
but
super
then
asexual.
everyone else is like, oh, you look the exact same Colton. Like,
yeah, that would be a funny genie trick.
He'd be like, have you seen me? Like, what are you talking
yeah,
about?
like,
yeah.
I am like the most.
Colton becomes a narcissist.
Yeah, then you become
that's
super
basically
like
what it is.
stuck up and being like, I'm the most attractive person, and I did nothing, and I'm wearing jeans. Like, I would probably still do it though. That's very intriguing.
How much would you give him is the question. If anything, I mean, Michael might say 0 potentially.
Yeah.
After arguing this.
I'm still around. I'm dropping it back down to probably $100, a flat $100
I'd probably give him 50
on the
bucks.
on the bet that it will make me more attractive.
I don't know, bet. See, that's the thing. We introduced some improbability of it actually working.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd definitely throw more than $100. I'm still leaning towards a grand.
Really?
I'm still leaning towards just throwing him a grand and seeing what happens. I'm just worried about me being really attracted to myself now and not actually having any improvements. And then like my sexuality just changing because of that or something like that. But what a story that would be. But then no one would believe me, so
Yeah. Because you'd be too self-obsessed.
God, that's the thing that would scare me. What if I just like myself only?
Yeah.
I'm still throwing him a grand. I'm taking the risk. That's a life changing.
Wow.
That's a life changing.
I was
thing.
honestly not expecting this from either of you two.
I think that'd
Really?
be a awesome, fun opportunity.
I'm just like, yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
in my mind, it's losing a grand. But I mean, it's a gamble. I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see somebody.
Exactly, it's a gamble.
It feels more attractive.
this is- This
I
is
don't know.
this is a situation where I'd be like, you know what? There's something the winds are telling me. The winds. Something's telling me like this thing happened. You might as well just go for it. You might as well just go all in.
Actually, here's the better thing. I want to be the guy that someone points at and gets the dollar
And gets the
dollar raise in a drive. Because
Just
I'm
a
getting it
dollar
for
more.
free, right? I'm not
Yeah.
having to pay any, but it's like a slight bump. It's like, oh, cool.
cool. Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Then you get it for free.
Dang. Okay. I've skipped a couple questions because I don't like all of these, but there's some I really like. This next one, is very short, and I think about this one all the time, or I ask this of a lot of people.
Okay.
You have won a prize. The prize has 2 options. You can choose either, but not both. The first option is a year in Europe with a monthly stipend of $2,000.
Oh, it's not too much.
The second option is 10 minutes on the moon. Which option do you select?
Wait, do I get the
But
necessary
you're no
supply?
spacesuit, so you die.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do I get the necessary supplies?
You get all the supplies. You fly up in this ship. They land on the moon. And you're there for 10 minutes, and then you leave. That's what I'm anticipating it
I
as.
gotta say the moon, right? A month in Europe, or wait, a year in Europe.
A year in Europe.
Europe.
With $2,000 a month.
That's a hard one.
For me,
Bro,
That's
just
a
go
hard
to
one.
Europe.
no question, it's the moon.
Yeah, just go to Europe on your own time, right? A year in Europe, just go work in Europe. You can work in Europe.
That's true.
My
But you
mind
never-
is I can easily get to Europe. I
Yeah.
will probably never go to the moon.
Yeah,
That's
life.
true. And let's be real. Like, you could basically be like, "Hey, I'm one of the motherfuckers that went to the moon." Like,
yeah. Take a
It's like,
picture.
what's the interesting fact about
Put
you?
that
I've
in
been
my
on the
resume.
moon. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
everything.
yeah, I guess, yeah, moon.
moon is the way. I think that's personally one of the.
I know a lot of
easiest.
people that would just never do the moon. You know,
Why would they not do the moon? You think? Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
because they get a free year vacation in Europe. I mean, that's usually the reasoning essentially.
Yeah, it's like 10
To
minutes.
me, though,
You have to up
That
the stipend.
10-minute
If you up the
experience-
stipend, it would change. Like, if it's 10 grand, that's like, oh, okay, you get to like, live pretty nicely over in Europe.
I don't know.
but let's say 10
though.
grand for a year, but you don't keep any excess.
Correct. Yeah.
Still,
but like,
still,
you
it's
get
a
to-
lot of money though.
Yeah. You get to blow all that.
You could
But
live like a
how-
rich lifestyle in Europe
Yeah,
for a
for
year.
a year.
And also, are we getting teleported to the moon, or do we have to actually like take the flight up? Like, because I don't know if like
The flight
I'm not
would
an
be
astronaut.
that would be a difference. Like, take the flight up.
Yeah.
I think that would change
In
it.
a good or bad way.
I think in a
You
bad
wouldn't
way.
do the flight.
If I
In a
got
bad way.
teleported there, it'd be nice. But if I didn't get teleported there, that'd be worse. Like, go through all the
I-
training and stuff.
let's say you don't have to go through the training, but you still have to take the flight.
Assuming I can like handle the flight up.
I don't know if I could, because I'm not trained as an astronaut. Like, you have to deal with a lot of G's there, and you have to like learn how to deal with the G's and stuff.
Well, assuming
like, that's more than a year. And
training's optional. If you want to do it,
training's optional. I think I would die.
I 100% would go to the moon, even better if I had to go through all this stuff to get there.
Because it's like extra experience, extra storytelling.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
Well, because it takes like a week to get to the moon, right? Like you have to go around it and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And then land. You're in 0G the whole time. That's something I've always wanted to do.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about all this cool stuff that leads up to it. Now, even if you could teleport there, let's say you teleport there, 10 minutes, you won't die because you have a suit, or even better, you're just walking around and invincible.
Yeah.
Still do that.
Yeah.
But if I go through all the stuff beforehand, even better for me.
I guess that's true.
Wait, can I use a what's it called? A Alt F4 glitch to create a save point right before I get right when I get invincibility, and then come back, and so I have invincibility. You ever use one of those in games?
Which one? Sorry.
So if you go into a cutscene, you get a limited time invincibility in a cutscene, right? Your character does in a game cutscene, but you can use a glitch. A lot of games will have a glitch where you can.
I've never done this before.
If you save right before it, like perfectly, you'll get the invincibility, but be outside of the cutscene, and you can just run around indefinitely. Yeah.
This tells me that you play games with lots of mods. Is that there's something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know how to exploit stuff.
I've never done that before.
I still think I'm going to the moon.
Yeah.
I still think I'm going to the moon no matter what.
Nice.
Like, you could pay me $100,000 in Europe a year, and I'd still probably go to the moon. Now, I think
that's the question: is how let's do this is okay. What would be the value needed to make you go to do the European trip?
I don't know if you could have that value though.
Yeah, I was like, you could pay me $1 million a year in Europe, and it's like, I don't know if that's worth it.
Going to the moon is right now invaluable.
Yeah,
like you can't put a price on it. Well, you can, but like it's priceless. The individual cannot just go to the moon right now.
Right.
Now, maybe if you ask this question again in 100 years, it'll be different.
That
maybe we'll have moon tourism.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the experience of going to the moon is priceless.
Yeah. I agree.
Although having like a year and $5 million in Europe would be really cool.
That would be super cool. And I'd be like thumbs up to everyone who went to go do that instead. But the moon is like a whole thing.
It's
really special.
I guess it's a question of like, all right, what do you value more? Like that kind of, it's more safety, obviously Europe, right? But also like, the option to just, like safety.
It's like an
once in a lifetime or
unique experience,
Yeah.
Not that $5 million in Europe for a year wouldn't be a unique experience, but like a rare unique experience.
Yeah,
like the description I have of like whoever on the moon put their thumb up and covered the entire Earth, and they're like, I'm the only person behind this thumb, or like when you take a picture of the Earth, like take a picture of something like that is fascinating to me, and that's what I'd rather do.
Can I take my smartphone up there, take a quick shot?
Sure.
Yeah.
Selfies on the moon.
Yeah.
No one believes you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's photoshopped. Good job, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like the prospect of getting up to the moon would scare me a lot. That would be the only thing that keeps me away from
that'd
it.
be the...
Like, I don't know. We haven't done that in years. I don't know if if our ship's going to crash.
And for me, it'd just be like the training. Like, I don't think... Like, I have to go through quite a bit of training to, like, do it, right? Because you have to... It's not so much, like, physically decent, but for me, it'd be like, all right, you have to, like, learn how to do all the, a lot of times they're, like, pilots, right? Scientists, then they have to like train to be astronauts. You essentially have to go through that. Remember, that's also like how much of that training time, say like 2 years, 3 years of training time, right? You have to spend all that time training. That's time spent training and not doing something else.
Yeah.
So I guess it's basically be an astronaut or be a travel influencer. Which one do you want to be?
That's true. And then you can keep that travel influencing going.
That is a good point. That is opening to career, you know?
Yeah.
Well, both are. I mean, if you're going to the moon, that's...
Maybe. I mean...
As long as people know you're going to the moon.
If you're teleporting to the moon, that's not a really career. If you're trained to go to the moon, then it could be a career.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting. All right, I got one more question here.
One more. All right. Let's do it.
All right. This one's similar to like the mother one and the horse one.
Oh no.
In a way.
Oh Lord.
All right. Your best friend is taking a nap on the floor of your living room for whatever reason.
Okay.
Suddenly, you are faced with a bizarre existential problem. This friend is going to die unless you kick them as hard as you can in the rib cage. If you don't kick them while they sleep, they will never wake up. However, you can never explain this to your friend. If you later inform them that you did this to save their life, they will also die from that. So you have to kick your sleeping friend in the ribs, and you can't tell them why. Since you cannot tell your friend the truth, I guess this will be a two-part question. One, would you kick the person? And two, what excuse would you fabricate to explain this?
Okay.
All right. If I come back from AX with broken ribs, that it was definitely Sean and Mike.
Yep. So, yeah, I would just. I mean, I don't even need the excuse of existential death. I just kick my friend in the ribs really hard.
I don't want to sleep in the same room as you anymore.
I would do it. I'd be like, I tripped.
Actually,
I would do something.
That's probably the best excuse.
Yeah, it is.
I'd do something silly.
Here's the bigger dick move. You kick him in the ribs, and then you go, it's because I had to save your life, and then they immediately die.
Michael's the worst friend to have in proving himself in this moment.
That would actually be really funny. That's some good content.
Gosh darn it. I don't know. I probably kick the person.
Leaves.
Probably kick, but I don't know what I would say. I think Colton's got the best. Oh, I tripped.
But like you tripped.
I would wake up and be like, tripped on what?
Yeah,
like, there's nothing
I'd be like, what the hell? Like, what do you mean you tripped? Like that was like a cinder block that like bricked me in my ribs. Ow.
Well, I mean, if you did kick someone as hard as you could, you'd probably break something.
You'd break something. Yeah. And that would be awkward. But me coming up with
your friend's life.
That would be awkward.
Yeah. But like it'd be worth it.
A hospital bill of $100,000. It's kind of awkward.
Oh no, the hospital bills.
But also, it's only the feeling, right? There's no guarantee that.
There's no guarantee.
Yeah, no guarantee that he's gonna die.
Yep.
Same thing as the mother question.
And that's the thing that would keep me from doing it. Because I'd be like, is he gonna die? Like, no, he won't die. I'd talk myself out of it. Maybe.
Yeah. Here, Sean, do you have health insurance?
I'm not going to answer that.
I decline. I plead the fifth.
If you don't have health insurance, that's like $500,000. But if you have health insurance, it's fine. Actually, maybe not $500,000, but it's a lot.
It's a lot of money. That's the thing. If it's only a feeling, I'd talk myself out of it. I don't know if I would actually do it.
Oh man,
I'd be like,
is it like that? Is it that feeling of doom though you're talking about, where it's like this all-encompassing, like that final destination shit, where you're like,
yeah, like you feel factual to yourself.
Like,
there's no logical reason to prove it, but you feel 100% certain.
Like you'll feel really guilty
die.
But
imagine they die in the morning, you'd never wake up. Imagine how you would feel.
You would feel.
Or
that would kill me.
Or imagine if you kick them in the ribs and then the rib falls. You kick them so hard the rib bends in, stabs in the heart, and they bleed out and die.
Well, that hopefully doesn't happen.
Well, but that doesn't go along to your thought, because the thing is, kicking them will save them. Is what you think. Now, if you kick them and they still die, I mean.
That's
regardless,
shitty.
You're feeling terrible.
Yeah. And then now you're going to jail.
Him in the ribs.
Now you're going to jail. Yeah, if it's your best friend, he's not going to like turn you in or anything too. So let's get really mad.
Would you still be friends though if someone broke your ribs in the middle of the night? I don't know if I would.
Oh, that's a good question. Like, like you try to come up with an excuse, but let's say that they see right through it. Like that's not cool at all, right? Like you kicked me in the ribs. What are you doing? And they're like, I
come with some dumb excuse.
Like that's a stupid. Like why?
And you never answer them.
Yep.
And
what of us is gonna come back from AX with broken ribs?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just thinking like if my friend ended up telling me like, the reason was I just wanted to do it. I'd be like, dude, I don't know if I'd want to be friends with that person anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
That would be kind of shit. But even if I wasn't friends with them...
Yeah, but also in your mind, you saved their life.
You did save their life, yeah. But then I'm like...
But they don't know that.
In your mind.
Yeah, in your mind. I have to go to like therapy after this. Like, that'd be terrible.
Am I schizophrenic?
Yeah, I'd be asking some serious questions
not schizophrenic,
to myself.
because that... yeah. Well, yeah. Am I, in a psychotic state or in psychosis?
Yeah, I'd be quite worried about myself in that instance.
Yeah,
but I think I would do it, which is weird because I wouldn't leave the theater for but I'm not hurting.
She'd be dead regardless, right?
Yeah,
you could still save your friend.
Yeah, I could still save my friend.
Still hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd do it.
He'd be pissed at you for the rest of your life.
He would be pissed.
No,
unless he's a really good friend.
I hope
let's come up with another question here. Replace the friend with your mom.
Oh, jeez.
My mom would always love me though, so we can do it.
I don't know if I could kick my mom in the ribs as hard as I could.
That'd be morally hard as possible. Yeah, like you try kicking them, and then the universe is like, you did not try as hard as you can. You must do it again. And you're like,
oh my god, can you imagine?
Or like you didn't.
But that time they're awake.
Yeah, they're awake, and it's like it's a done deal at that point.
Yeah, because if they wake up without happening, then they die.
Yeah, they might die at least. I would,
according to this feeling.
That's the worst question to answer possible. I don't think I can answer that.
Could you not? I think I'd have to. It's like life or death. This is like
if I did, they would wake up and I'd be like crying or something.
Yeah,
like my mind broken from this impossible task.
That would require therapy for sure.
I think it definitely takes some time. Like this one, like the mother one, I'm like, all right, I'm calling my mom like almost immediately, right? Whereas this one, it's like, all right, I gotta sit there for like 20 minutes and like debate this in my head.
And you can't even go to therapy because if you tell anybody, they'll still die.
No, only if you tell the friend. But if someone,
we could make it so that
here's
you
a question:
tell
if
anyone.
someone tells the friend that after you told them,
oh, never explains to your friend. Okay.
So you can go to therapy, but what if you couldn't go to therapy?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not stipulated.
So you could do it by proxy.
I don't know. Could you though?
Oh,
would you risk it? Would you risk?
Oh, it's true. I would not risk it.
You don't know. You don't know. By
I wouldn't
proxy
risk it.
would be tough. If you're already kicking them, not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think have we all made our decisions? Are we all doing it?
Yeah.
Even if it's the mom.
Yeah, I'm kicking the friend and then telling him immediately afterwards.
I think that
this
would be
is probably
a
the
great
hardest
show.
question for me to answer, honestly.
Yeah, it's really tough. But I think I'd do it. I think so.
I don't know. I don't think this might be a question where I won't know until I'm in that situation.
I think a lot of these for me would be that way because I say, of course I'd do this, but then when it comes down to brass tacks or whatever, I don't know.
When you meet that wizard on the street.
Yeah, like do I actually give him $1,000? I'd like to think I'd give him $1,000.
Yeah, Venmo is the big one, right? If you can take Venmo, then sure, why not?
You can have whatever I have in my Venmo account. $300, $1,000, $50. I don't care.
Actually, I've got quite a bit in my Venmo. I need to deposit it.
Deposit that, man.
Nah, just keep it.
Well, I think we've learned quite a bit about each other.
I think we have, kind of. Yeah. It's been a good episode.
Or just like thought processes, Like,
yeah.
I got answers I was not expecting from you guys. So
yeah,
I got.
It's like that. What we were talking about last episode, where trying to understand, people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to understand how they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope our viewers ask these questions of themselves.
Yeah, I hope they
can learn something about each other. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Or if you guys have any recommendations on like other like crazy questions like these,
let us know.
Comment in the YouTube videos.
Round 2, I'd love to do a round 2 of this one of these days.
I do have more questions, so we can definitely do a round 2.
Do you wanna source the website or whatever you got, wherever you got these, or maybe put it?
I can't find them originally, so
okay.
There's 23 questions in total, so I was just kind of searching for 23 questions to get to know somebody. Is what I searched for, and then I had to the Google search that finally got me here was 23 questions to get to know someone. Moon versus vacation.
Okay, moon versus vacation.
Yeah, that's how we got there. Well, cool. I think that about wraps up today's episode.
Yeah, that was a mind taxing one. Like very taxing on the mind today. I don't think usually this hard on the podcast.
I don't think usually this hard.
But I did today, so.
Well, thanks for listening. This has been Almost a Podcast. One day we will get there.
One day.
Indeed.
Follow us on Spotify and Apple
YouTube,
iTunes.
Spotify, Twitch, Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating.
We're on Podbean, too. You can leave comments on Podbean.
Are we?
We are. I found us on Podbean, so.
Cool. That's really weird.
But yeah,
make sure not to smash that like button.
Don't smash the like button. Don't
press
follow.
it gently. Just press it gently.
Kick it as hard as you can in the ribs.
Yeah, that's a good one.